Hello guys, welcome to this video tutorial. Guys, if you are a beginner, if you are a fresher, if you don't have any idea about SAP, or if you have zero knowledge about SAP, then this is going to be a best tutorial for you. If you want to learn SAP and particularly FICO module, then I'll tell you guys here in this video tutorial, I'm going to start the things from zero, from beginning. So it is going to be a very helpful tutorial for all the beginners, all the freshers who want to learn SAP and that too particularly FICO module. So guys, this is the first session and that is going to be started from introduction onwards. So let's have a look here now. So the first thing is, since you guys are going to learn SAP, right? So now here, the first question is, what is SAP? SAP, right? Now, here I'll tell you guys the most common answers which is being given by every candidate and might be in your mind also somewhere, the same thing will come. This systems, applications, and product in data processing. But I'll tell you guys, this is not the correct answer. This is just the full form of SAP. So the question is still remain, what is SAP? SAP, what is SAP? Now, the perfect answer is, it's an ERP. Now, again, then the next question is, so what is ERP then, right? So, because if you don't know ERP, you don't know SAP, right? Now, if we talk about ERP guys, so the answer in the sense, what is ERP, right? So here the definition of ERP is hidden here in the full form of ERP. ERP stand for what? ERP stand for Enterprise Resource Planning. Okay. If we talk about enterprise, look at here, enterprise means an organization, a business organization. And what are the resources required to run a particular organization, guys? So it is like the major resources are 4M, that is man, money, machines, and material, right? Now it becomes 6M like marketing and methods, but minimum 4M are required to run a particular organizations. As I said, manpower, money, machines, and materials, right? Now, then the last one is called planning. So planning about what? Look at here guys. So planning about the effective utilizations of resources, right? In the sense, optimum, maximum utilization of resources. Now, what is happening guys? All these three, ERP and whatever I added here, if you are going to combine together, then this is what the definition is. ERP is nothing but a software which helps an organization to manage their resources effectively and efficiently. It ensures the maximum utilization of resources. What are the resources, guys? Money, man, material, and machines. Okay, I'll quote a pretty simple example, and based on that, you guys will be having a perfect understanding. Okay, now let's have a look here. Now, say for example, now I have quoted one example here, that is of Tata Motor. It's an organization, guys, well-known organization, right? Now, so or you quote any example of any organizations, guys, like instead of Tata Motor, it could be other organizations also. Now, so when we talk about Tata Motor, then Tata Motor is having multiple departments, out of which the major important departments are like we are having sales department, we're having purchase department, that is also called procurement department, right? The next one is finance and account department, and another important department is called HR department, human resource department. Now, Take example of sales department. Okay, just assume that Tata Motor is not using any ERP. Tata Motor is not using any software to manage their day-to-day transactions. So what exactly they are doing, guys? They are using the books of account. They are maintaining different registers. I'll tell you guys, if there is no ERP, right? Assume like 50 years back, 60 years back, 40 years back, isn't it? So ERPs like was not there. Even like if you talk about like, so computers were not that much prevalent in the market in those days. So manual transactions, whatever the transactions were taking place in those days, those were getting recorded manually itself, right? Now, so just assume that Tata Motor doesn't have any ERP. So what is happening, guys? They're recording all the transactions manually. Let's have a look here on this slide. Okay, so the sales department is recording all the transactions manually because it's not having any, they're not using any ERP, right? Now, so if they're recording all the transactions manually, then how many number of employees are required to manage this entire sales department? Okay, now, so look at here, total number of 50 resources are required to manage this sales department. Now, out of 50, 25 people involved in day-to-day transaction posting and remaining 25 people involved in report preparations. If we talk about like sales department, right? So here, the management of sales department, right? Management will be pretty interested for this reports only. This is how they will come to know the performance, right? So let's suppose if they have to see like what is the uh, weekly sales or monthly sales, quarterly sales, right? So they have to prepare the reports. Now, since manually the transactions are going to be posted manually in the sense they are maintaining the registers, right? So the report preparations also is going to happen manually itself, right? So that is why I said 25 people involved in day-to-day transaction posting and 25 people involved in report preparations. I'll tell you guys, various kind of reports are also going to be prepared. Like let's suppose customer aging reports will be there, like in the sense that is again a kind of, let's suppose there are certain customers, right? So who has failed to make payment on time, right? In the sense multiple invoices which become overdue, even though invoices become overdue, but still the payments are not received from the customers, right? So this is called customer aging report. Let's suppose certain invoices are overdue by a margin of 30 days. Certain invoices are overdue already by a margin of 60 days. Certain invoices are more than 180 days, right? So such kind of reports they want to see like what are the customers who is like failed to make the payment, right? Okay, so that is called customer aging report. So various kind of reports are required. That is why I said 25 people involved in report preparations and remaining 25 people involved in day-to-day transaction posting. So this is the case when like Tata Motor is not using any ERP. Now post ERP, what will happen, guys? Now let's suppose Tata Motor decided to use an ERP. Say for example, they decided to go for SAP. Okay. So in that case, what will happen, guys? If they started using SAP, I mean to say ERP, right? SAP is nothing but an ERP. It's a software, right? So now what is happening? So look at here, the total number of 50 employees were maintaining this entire sales department earlier. Now only 25 people required to manage this sales department. Why? Because in ERP, what is happening, guys? ERP needs only inputs. In the sense now whatever the transactions were getting posted on like registers and all, there whatever the transactions were being maintained through registers, now the same transactions are going to be posted into SAP, into ERP, right? So now what is happening? So the physical registers, the whatever the physical registers are there, that got converted into digital registers, right? Digitally digitally. What is happening now? They are going to enter all these transactions in SAP, right? No need to maintain the physical registers, right? So here the benefit of using ERP is, now look at here, 25 people are required to post this transaction because number of transactions are same. What is happening, guys? Only they have changed this. Earlier they were using registers and all to maintain these transactions. Now they started using ERP, right? So whatever transactions were earlier, now the same transactions are there right now also. So these 25 people still required to post the transactions, to record the transactions, right? But these remaining 25 people who involve in report preparations, these people are not required. Why? Because if you talk about report preparations, guys, so whenever you post any transactions into ERP, now what is happening? Those transactions are going to be considered as an input, and output is going to be generated. Output, I mean to say, reports are nothing but output, right? So outputs are going to be generated by system, in the sense ERP, automatically. Reports are getting prepared in background automatically. Within a second, different kind of reports they can see. What is the daily sales? What is weekly sales? Monthly sales, right? Quarterly sales, isn't it? And various other kind of reports also they can pull out, and that too within a fraction of second. So now look at here, guys, what I said here. Now, so earlier total number of 50 employees were managing the sales department. Now what is happening? Only 25 people are going to manage this entire sales department. Whatever this remaining 25 people are there, these resources can be utilized by Tata Motor in some different activity, right? So these resources, in the sense remaining 25 people, are going to be utilized in some different activity. So look at here, guys, there is a benefit of, what is the benefit of ERP? I said here, right, that ERP ensure the maximum utilizations of its resources. Of course, maximum utilizations are happening. Earlier 50 people, now what is happening? Only 25 people. 25 people are the part of sales department. Remaining 25 people are going to be utilized by Tata Motor in some different activities. So look at here, maximum utilizations are there, right? And how it is happening, how the maximum utilizations are happening, it's because of ERP, right? ERP is nothing but a software which helps an organizations to manage their resources effectively and efficiently. Look at here, how effectively the resources are getting managed. It's because of SAP, right? So SAP is nothing but ERP. It's a software, right? Not only SAP, guys, whatever other ERPs are there, with that also the same functionalities are there. Of course, like some differences will be there, like we are having multiple other ERPs and all, but SAP is having lots of functionality. That is why if you talk about the competitors of SAP, no one is close to this SAP. In this race, SAP, like you can say, like is acquired almost 70% of market share, right? So it is called market leader in terms of ERP, right? SAP is the market leader. Now, I'll quote a very simple another example here. Let's suppose, like, take example of banking department, right? Banking department. Now, if you talk about like 40 years back, 50 years back, of course, we were not there in those days, but when you see the movies and all, so what is happening, guys? In like in those days, how they used to manage the transactions and all. So there also they used to manage all these customer details and all. They used to manage the registers only. Now that just assume 50 years back, when somebody like approached a bank and forgotten the passbook, right? Passbook means your all the transactional details will be there in the passbook. Your account number will be there in the passbook, right? When the account was open, all the details will be there in passbook itself. You forgotten your passbook. Just assume that now this that 50 years back, if somebody forgotten the passbook at home and reached the bank, now what will happen? If like they requested to the like bank employee or managers that, so I forgotten my password, now I need to get certain details, right? I need to get some transactional details from my bank account and all, isn't it? And let's suppose, so if they have to, first of all, the first challenge for them, first of all, they have to identify the bank account of this person. How they are going to find out the bank details, guys? So again, let's suppose manager are deployed, one particular employee that you just do one thing, help Mr. So and so because he is our prime customer, right? Now, so that guy is going to, again, since they have maintained multiple registers, now they will ask, okay, so are you able to remember in which year your account was open, right? Let's suppose he said, okay, this was the year. In that year, again, we are having like multiple month, right? So in which month the account was open, whether it was like July, August, September, right? So if he's saying that, okay, it was like, let's suppose it may be June or July. So he said it may be June or July or maybe August also. So now 3 months. Now what will happen, guys? If they started searching the registers of this 3 month, it may take 1 hour, it may take 2 hours, it may take 3 hours also, right? Now this was the situation, let's suppose 50 years back. Now what is happening? Every banks are using software, right? Which is an ERP, right? Enterprise Resource Planning. Every banks are using a software which is ERP. So every banks are using ERP. Now let's suppose right now, are you carrying your passbook to the banks? No, nothing is required. If you approach the bank, and let's suppose if you need to get certain details, if you say your name plus your like email ID, within a second your entire information will be there on their screen, right? If you say your name plus your contact number, right? Um, Within a second your entire details will be there, your name plus your date of birth, or is your name plus whatever your government ID is there, like let's suppose like PAN number, okay? Or it's like in other countries different ID cards will be there, so on that a unique identification code will be there, right? So if you say your name plus that code, within a second what is happening, the details will be there on their laptop or desktop, right? So this is what the benefit of ERP, guys. Earlier, now let's suppose if total 100 customers are standing in the queue for certain query, right? Maybe like 5 resources are required as a customer care executive to support those many people. Nowadays, one single person can support 500 people. Why? Because they are using ERP. So within a fraction of second, they are going to get all the details and easily they can help out the customer. So this is what the use of ERP, right? That's what I said, that it's a software which helps an organization to manage their resources effectively and efficiently, right? And apart from this, look at here, it ensures the maximum utilization of resources. The work which was being done earlier by 5 employees, now it is going to be done by 1 employee. Why? Because of this ERP itself, because of this software, right? So this is what the benefit of ERP. And SAP is also, guys, it's an ERP itself, but this is the market leader since it is having huge functionality compared to whichever the competitors are there, whatever the other ERPs are there in the market. Compared to all the ERP, SAP is global leader, market leader, right? Because no one is going to compete with SAP, and that is why there is a huge demand of SAP, because all the big companies nowadays are using SAP, and that is why there is a huge career, huge growth, right? If you are planning to become SAP consultant and all, so career growth is there, hike is there, stability is there. That is why everybody wants to become SAP consultant, right? Now, okay, so this is all about the ERP, guys. If you talk about leading ERP, what are the leading ERPs are there in the market? Multiple ERPs are there. Now here we are having SAP, Oracle, JD Edward, PAN, Epicor, PeopleSoft. Now we are having like Tally is there, that is also small ERP. We are having Navision, that is small ERP, right? Apart from this, multiple other ERPs are there, guys, right? Several ERPs are there, small ERPs are there in the market. But yes, as I said, SAP is the market leader because it has acquired almost 70% are the market share. If we talk about Fortune 500 companies, guys, in that I think like more than 90% of the companies are using SAP itself. Okay, more than 90% of the companies are using SAP. Okay, now look at here the list of SAP modules. Multiple modules are there in SAP. If we talk about SAP, guys, it doesn't mean that you are going to learn entire SAP, entire SAP. SAP is divided into certain module, right? Multiple modules are there. But at broader level, what is happening, guys? At broader level, it is going to be divided into two parts, that is called functional module and technical module. Functional module and technical module, right? Again, in functional module, we are having various different modules, and under technical also we are having different modules, right? It is just like science and arts, right? So further in science you'll be having bio, you'll be having chemistry, you'll be having physics, right? Likewise in arts also you'll be having geography, you're having civics, right? You're having history, like that. So SAP, again, further it is going to be subdivided into two parts, that is functional module and technical module. What is the exact difference between functional module and technical module, guys? That also you guys will come to know in upcoming session, because in a single session it is not possible to explain each and everything. Okay, so we will have a look on this also, but later in upcoming session you guys will be having a perfect idea about the differences between functional module and technical module. Okay, so if you talk about the functional module, now look at here. So here we are having like functional module means FI, that stands for finance, right? And in this video tutorial we will be having the more focus on finance module itself, guys. Okay, and there is a reason, right? Here the major important thing is, if we talk about, like, let's suppose if you're planning to learn a particular things, right? So guys, I'll tell you, you can be expert of only one module, you can be expert of only one thing, you can't be expert of each and everything at this point of time, right? What is happening here in the market, like I have seen like multiple people, whether it is like video tutorial or live classes, whatever it is, right? In a very short durations, people are going to cover FI also, CO also, in the sense FI finance module, CO controlling module. FI is a separate module, guys, and CO is a separate module. Finance is a separate module, controlling is a separate module. People are having very basic understanding of finance, basic understanding of controlling. Okay, so if you talk about the success ratio, that is quite less, because most likely people are just focusing on configurations part, right? How to do, but first of all you need to know why to do. If we are doing certain configurations, let's suppose, so what is the logic, what kind of controls are there? If you're like, let's suppose, in multiple tutorials and multiple, like on YouTube also, multiple channels are there, multiple videos are there, where everywhere I have noticed like people are just covering this configuration part. Okay, so configurations means, if you guys, let's suppose, if you know how to do, but if you don't know why to do, then what will happen, guys? Then your journey is going to be pretty difficult as a consultant, because you know, like let's suppose configuration process, but you don't know the logic, right? You don't know, you have done certain configurations, but you don't know what kind of controls are being done by that configurations. What is the logic, what is the use of that configurations? If you don't know, then how you guys are going to become a perfect consultant, right? So anyway, so here our more focus will be on finance module itself. As I said, like you can be expert of only one thing at this point of time, you can't be expert of each and everything. Okay, so I'll explain the things in details, that too on this module, finance module. Okay, later on, guys, I'll try to add certain video on controlling also, basics only, but on a FI module, whatever topics are going to be covered in that, like a perfect explanations will be there, perfect example will be there, and that too theoretically and practically, all the things are going to be explained, and it will be quite easy for you people to understand, no matter whatever your background is there. Okay, that doesn't matter, because my explanations will be like pretty simple, and even examples also are going to be pretty simple. So it will be quite easy for you people to understand the things. Okay, so what I said, what are the different modules into SAP, guys? Multiple modules are there. Functional module, we are having like FI, CO, MM, SD, HR. Like other modules are also there. PP is there, PM is there. PS module is there, right? PP stand for production planning, PM stand for plant maintenance, right? QM is there for quality management, PS is there for project system. Various functional modules are there, right? Here we are going to have a focus on FI, on finance module, right? Okay, so whatever your module is there, guys, that comes under functional module, whether it is FI or CO, right? It is the part of functional module. And then we are having certain technical modules also in that, like the major important modules are like ABAP and basis. Okay, so in upcoming classes, even you'll be having idea about these modules also, what exactly these people, in the sense what exactly ABAP people are going to do, right? What kind of works are being done by this ABAP consultant. What about this basis consultant, what exactly these people are going to do, right? So in the sense there, about them also, certain, like you guys will be having idea that what exactly these ABAP and basis are going to. I'm not talking about like their like complete details will be there, but at least you guys will be having idea that what exactly these people are going to do. In upcoming classes you'll be having certain idea, but yes, our main focus will be on finance module, right? So okay, so this is all about the introduction part, guys, and here I have explained like what is this SAP, what is this ERP, and hope you guys are able to understand. Now here in next session I'm going to explain a topic called types of SAP project, because when you become SAP consultant, right, then you guys are going to get some assignment. In the sense, you guys are going to, assignment is nothing but a kind of project, right? So you guys are going to be a part of, you guys are going to be part of a particular project. Okay, so how many types of SAP projects are there, guys, right? That I have to explain, and that I'm going to explain in next session.